What is up, guys? I have a very special playthrough for you today to celebrate the 100th video on my channel. We are going to be playing one of my favorite games ever, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the Nintendo GameCube. Let's get started. So, the first thing I want to show off about this game is actually the options. So, one of the many things I like about this game is a lot of the neat little stuff that's in the game. Like, if you go over here, you can see this, change menu screen theme. So you can choose a bunch of different characters to like narrate the stuff on the menus. Okay, yeah, you just saw that. So by spinning the stick around in circles on this menu, this will appear. It is the President's Secretary, who appears very briefly in the story. Yeah, it's kind of goofy. In the Dreamcast version, this was like a DLC type thing. But because with GameCube, connecting to the internet wasn't even close to as widespread. Actually, can the GameCube even connect to the internet? Even with like an add-on? I don't actually... It can't, right? At least not that I'm aware of. So instead, they just added it as like this Easter egg. I just want to show it off, because every time I start a new file, I always just like unlock this. So now we have the Secretary. So back on the actual screen, we'll see we have a bunch of options. Extras, we can't really do anything in here. There's a tutorial, but I played this game a little bit, a couple of times, so I think I know my way around here. We have the 2P battle mode, which I'm not going to show off right now because I only have one person. So all that's left is just the 1P mode. Now, right now our only option is to just start one of the two stories, so I guess we'll just start with the hero story.
Sigma Alpha 2 heading due south over the city. We're en route. Everything's a go.
This is Control Tower. We have you on radar. Report cargo status of captured Hedgehog aboard. Over.
That's a 10-4. Cargo secured on board and... What?
Didn't
The
copy
Hedgehog
that.
is
Over.
gone. He's taken out everyone aboard and...
What's wrong?
What in the
Come in.
world?
Over.
Freeze! What do you think you're doing? Get that Hedgehog!
Talk about low-budget flights, no food or movies.
He said the thing! Man, I love this era of Sonic, like, cutscenes. They're just so iconic to me. And obviously that's because I grew up with it, but... Come on, man. No food or movies, I'm out of here! It's so good. I love it. And thus begins one of the most iconic, using the word iconic a lot, iconic stages in all of Sonic. It's amazing. It's so fun. I've played it a jillion times to grind rings, which I'll get into later why you might want to do that. Of course, eventually, you will get to a point where you'll never need to grind rings again. Although if you're not okay with using glitches or exploits, then I guess this is your only way to get rings. I missed that shield. Although, because this is a brand new save file, we will not have all of Sonic's power-ups yet, so there are going to be certain things in this level that we're not going to be able to access, such as this. As you see, if we roll into this, nothing happens. So there's nothing we can do with that now. Although we can do a little trick there to get that 10 rings. Oh yeah, we don't have... Yeah, I can't even like do the way to ride down these rails really fast. It's a pretty, you know, basic but effective system to have like power-ups throughout the game where you get stronger. And then obviously going back to other levels, you'll be able to use said power-ups, and then you'll be able to beat the level better, which is important for getting ranks. Now here we have a Chao container, which Elmo Chao is going to try and explain, but I already know what it does. There's 3 of these in every level. I'll be showing all 3 in this level, if I remember where they all are, which I hope I do. Oh jeez, the camera. But yeah, that's the first time you get a Chao crate, it will just give you a Chao key. And what this does, we'll be seeing immediately after the level. However, there are 2 more hidden throughout the stage. You'll have to grab those to get the ultimate reward. So when you're going down those curve part of those rails, you kind of have to like tap the stick lightly a bunch of times to to go fast, basically. As you just saw, there was like a gold robot here that I failed to attack. Those things will disappear really quick. You gotta hit them before they see you and disappear, and they give you a bunch of points. This is important for getting ranks, but we're not really gonna be worrying about ranks right now, especially since we don't have all the power-ups. So like, probably not a good idea to try and go for a really good rank. Absolute banger song. Okay, so if we go up on this, oh, it's gonna be kind of hard to get on top of that rail without the power-ups, but man, we figured it out anyway. And here is the third box. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the second one. The second one will just have a bunch of animals inside, which I'll explain later. And then the final one will have a special animal. As you see in the bottom right corner, that unicorn we just got. He didn't lock on to the he didn't lock on to the thing. You know what? That's fine. The final one will have a special legendary animal. In that case, a unicorn. And those are really rare and epic poggers ones. That's the only way I know how to put it. The only way to get those isn't to get the third Chao box, because on occasion there will be like the legendary animals hidden in special places throughout the stage, but not every stage has a hidden legendary, I don't think, and they're usually pretty tucked away. The easiest way is just to get the 3 Chao boxes, because the Chao boxes usually aren't as hidden. They're usually pretty easy to find. Man, I lost all those rings. It's fine. It's not really fine because we don't have the electric-y shield either, so we're gonna miss a bunch of rings in this part of the level. The good old gun truck sequence. So it's pretty good. The story just it kind of throws us in there, so we're not really sure why Sonic is running from the government. Although I don't even think we know that this is the government at this point, probably, but, you know, whatever. Spoilers for a billion-year-old game. Quick little secret, if you go over here and whistle, you can get a little animal. Also, another thing, if you pick up Omo Chao and bring them to the goal ring at the end of the level, they'll have special dialogue. What's interesting is that Omo Chao has special dialogue for every level, even though there are many levels where it's impossible under normal circumstances to get an Omo Chao through the goal ring. So those voice clips technically go unused.
That big truck scared me.
Yeah, you just heard that one. He goes, "That big truck scared me." And that's like the easiest one to get because there's no Omo Chao right by that goal ring. Yeah, we got a D. That's very understandable. It's alright. We'll go back to get the A rank on this level once we have more power-ups. But we get an emblem. This is just a way to keep track of progress, although getting more emblems will unlock certain things. This is what the Chao key did. We get to go to my favorite part of the game. Oh, and it created new Chao data. Surely the fact that it creates the Chao data separately won't cause any sort of item infinite selling glitch, Copium. Alright, so all those animals we picked up throughout the stage will now end up in our Chao garden. You know what, now that I think about it, I should have shown off the... Uh-oh. I was going to show off the hub, but I realized that it's just going to keep playing the story mode. But that's okay. We'll do this boss and we'll go back to the Chao garden.
I'm out of here. Finally decided to show up, eh? Okay, bring it on.
It's now nighttime, I guess. I don't know how much time has passed. It feels like the game intends for not that much time to have passed between finishing that stage and now. But also it's nighttime, so I don't know. Although this is probably just to have it line up with Shadow's level, which is at nighttime, where he runs into Sonic at the end of this. Spoilers again for the story of this very old game. But yeah, this boss is very simple. You just kind of step up on top of these boxes, and then you homing attack the cockpit. And then they die like that. Very straightforward boss.
Hey guys, take care. What?
everything about these cutscenes is just amazing to me. I love them so much. They're so quotable. I can't. They're just like one of my favorite things to ever exist.
Chaos Emerald.
That like slow pan and then he looks down. Oh, it's so good.
Where do you think you're going?
The music being like so loud you can't even tell what they're saying half the time.
You fake hedgehog.
Chaos control.
Yeah, the first instance of chaos control being used in the franchise, I think. I don't think it was ever used before this. It's like the whole thing, it's like Shadow's whole thing. Although a lot of other people use it later. I mean, even in this game, Sonic uses it at the end. Spoilers again.
I'm the world's ultimate light.
Throwing the emerald up. Aw, yeah. Oh no, look at all these guys. When did they get here? So yeah, I guess that happened. Well, that happened. Meanwhile, I guess Knuckles and Rouge are just here.
Just let it go. You just
It's funny because Rouge is a new character. So this is most people's introduction to them because I'm assuming they did the hero story first. And they're like, who is this person? Although I had played Heroes before this game, so...
Powers that neutralize the energy of the Chaos Emerald. That makes it very powerful.
Very powerful. And then Eggman's just taking it, I guess.
Look who's calling who a thief. I came here following the signal from the Emerald.
The Emerald?
This is the Master Emerald, is it not? Dr. Eggman.
so that's Dr. Egg.
Well, I guess I can use it for something. I'll just take it with me.
He's like, I might as well just grab this emerald. Why not?
I can help it.
That goofy jump, and then the emerald just shatters everywhere. Some of those shattered parts end up in space, by the way. I don't... How?
What you did to my emerald.
Gets bodied.
I did that to prevent the Master Emerald from being stolen, you idiot.
You know, obviously these cutscenes are jank and all, but you gotta admit, compared to the original Sonic Adventure, it's a pretty big step up.
I despise anyone who takes jewels from me. All the world's gems are mine to keep.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Batgirl.
Batgirl. Knuckles, you can't say that. Okay, because I want to show off the Chao Garden in this first episode in more detail, I'm gonna exit the level. It will save where we are in the story, so we don't gotta worry about that. Now that we've done a level, though, we have a new option here, Stage Select, where we can, once you know it, select a stage. And we'll also see that because we've gotten a Chao Key before, we've also unlocked the Chao Garden. We've only ever completed a Sonic level, so he's the only character we can play as. So if you look at the Chao Garden, there's not a lot in here right now. There will be some more stuff added to this hub, but we're going to have to unlock it. For now, we just have this one garden entrance. So here are all the animals like before. And if you look around, not a lot going on. Not a lot on the ground. There's just some trees here. And this very conspicuous egg just sitting here. Now, when hatching an egg, a Chao egg, there are 3 ways. One is just to wait. They'll hatch by themselves. The second method is to do this, which I'll show for this egg. And then I'll do the third method on that other egg you see in the background. So you can pick up an egg and shake it. And after shaking it for enough time, you set it down and it will instantly hatch. Like that. And now we have our Chao. It's got a smiley face. I'll talk about the faces in a sec. Because I want to, before this one hatches naturally, I want to show the third way to hatch an egg. The third way to hatch an egg is to chuck it. Now, it was a big myth for the longest time that chucking an egg like that would affect the Chao's facial features, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't. And the one thing I know that it doesn't do, I mean, look, it just had a heart when I picked it up. A lot of people thought that throwing it at the wall when you hatched it would make it hate you. This is completely false, and it's just kind of a false rumor that was spread around on the internet for a long time. The way you hatch the egg, to my knowledge, doesn't do anything. It's just kind of up to you, so usually I throw the egg because it's the fastest. Back in the day, though, I believed that rumor, so I would always shake it to hatch. But now that I know it doesn't do anything, I just chuck the egg at the wall. Let's pick up these eggshells really quick. I'm gonna just stick these in the corner so they don't get in the way. You can use these for something later. You can also sell them, but these basic Chao egg shells aren't gonna sell for much. I probably will sell them, though, just so they don't take up a bunch of space. But for now, I usually just stick them in the corner of the map until I figure out what I want to do with them. So you'll see we have two Chao. They both look pretty similar, except this one has a little V smiley face going on, while this one has nothing. There are a bunch of different faces a Chao can have that are randomized when they're born. They can have this little face with the smiley V. They can have an upside down V, the little frowny face. They can have angry eyes. They can have a little squiggly mouth. They can have an evil looking mouth, and if you get the evil eyes with the evil mouth, that creates a fun combo. They look very, very evil. And then they can have like the half shut eyes. I think that's all of the different options. And any combination of those you can get for your Chao. And then there's obviously no mouth and regular eyes like this one has. So what are you supposed to do with these little things? They just kind of sit here. Well, first off, we feed them. We feed them these animals. Okay, they don't eat the animals, but you give them the animals and it increases their stats. As you see, this one just got some points in run and some points in fly. It also gave it animal parts, so now it's got the big old bunny feet. Now don't worry, unlike in the original Sonic Adventure where animals were the only way to increase stats, whereas in this game there's a second way to increase Chao stats, which I'll show off later. But in this game, there's also a special animal that will remove animal parts. So if you don't like the way your Chao looks with all these animal parts, like these goofy pink feet, you can get rid of those. We just have to get to a level that has the animal that'll let us do that. Which Knuckles has a level where it's really easy to get that animal pretty early on. I think it's Knuckles' second level. So for now, though, it's just going to be stuck having those big pink feet. We'll take this one, though, because I have some other stuff to show off. Man, there's so much to talk about. So I love the Chao Garden, as anyone who knows me will know. There's just so much going on. There's so many things I have to talk about. But I think the first thing I want to show off is the health center. So if you take a Chao to the health center, you can see the doctor, and he'll always be like, your Chao is very healthy. Now, the reason this is even a thing, the see the doctor button, was because there's I believe it's either unused or it's so ridiculously unlikely that it'll never happen. But it is programmed into the game where a Chao could get sick and like catch a cold, and you'd have to take them to the doctor and then help them get healed. But like I said, I've never seen it happen naturally, and I'm pretty sure it either is actually programmed to never happen, or it's so ridiculously rare you'll never see it. It's one of the two. But the important thing at the health center is the medical chart. This will show us our Chao's attribute. It's neutral. We can talk about that later. Ability type child. This just means it's not evolved yet. Chao will evolve and then become adults. But these are newly hatched, obviously they're the children. And then we see a bunch of its stats. It's got swim, fly, run, power, stamina. This is going to be important for Chao Karate and Chao Racing, which are the two types of events you can have your Chao compete in. And doing these will give you emblems, one. So they force you to play the Chao Garden if you want 100%, which people who don't like the Chao Garden always complain about. But this is the best part of the game, so I don't know what they're talking about. It's great. Why wouldn't you get all the emblems from the Chao Garden? And two, it unlocks special things for the Chao Garden, like different toys for the Chao to play with. Also, the Chao you win certain events with can unlock abilities, like the ability to plant seeds and other things like that. But yeah, Chao will have a ranking from E all the way to potentially S. I don't think a Chao can the Chao be born with an S? Yeah, it totally can. I don't know how common it is. I don't even know if they can have an S without breeding, though, but I could be wrong. This one actually has pretty decent stats for being just a random egg we started with. C, B, B, C, D. Now, when you evolve a Chao, it will evolve into the type that it has the highest, like the most animals you've given it towards. Like if you give it a bunch of swim animals and that's the most type of animals it's gotten before it evolves. It will turn into a swim-type Chao. And when this happens, that ability will go up a rank. So if I turn this Chao into a swim Chao, its swim rank would actually go up to B. Important to note. So like, if this Chao, for instance, if we turned it into a run Chao, it would go up to A, which is probably a smart thing, because run is a pretty important stat in racing. So I feel like turning this Chao into a run Chao is a good idea. Although I'm probably just going to let you guys choose what we turn what Chao into. But, you know, we'll figure that out. We have personality naive. I actually don't know if the personalities do much. I know in, like, the mods people have made for this game, the personalities have more of an effect. I don't think they do a ton in this game. And then favorite, which have, like, square fruit. There's special fruit you can get from a shop that I'll show in a bit. And you can plant seeds and grow trees of different fruit types. So if I'm like, oh, I want to make this Chao have a lot of stamina, that's how you level stamina, by the way. Stamina is different in that you don't give it animals and chaos drives, which I haven't shown yet, to increase its stats. Instead, you feed them fruit, and that's how you get more stamina. So if I was like, oh, I think if they like the fruit, they get more benefits from it? That's probably it. I'm gonna be honest, I've pretty rarely used the other fruit types. I probably should get more into doing that. But yeah, we'll also see the Chao's age is 0, and times transformed 0. More stuff that I have to talk about. But I'm gonna save age and times transformed for later, because it's not really important right now. Now, another important thing we can do here is go to the fortune teller. Now, this is how you name your Chao. The way it's done is very weird, though. So the fortune teller will give your Chao a lucky name, quote-unquote, which is just a random name picked from a pool of names. And the pool of names isn't that big, so you'll end up seeing the repeats a bunch. If you want to name the Chao a unique name, you're going to say no. And they're going to be like, really? You don't like the name? Do you want a different name? You're going to want to pick no again, and then they'll ask you, do you want to name it yourself? And then you just get all kinds of of characters. Not even just English ones. Like, you got all kinds of stuff going on here. You can name your Chao whatever your mind can think of, I guess. And, I think I'm gonna let you guys name the other Chao. But just because it's the mascot, we're gonna name this one Yikers. Oh, can we fit the exclamation point in? We can. So it looks like there is 2, 4, 6, 7 characters for the name. So post in the comments section what you want the other Chao to be named. We'll go check out the other Chao's stats as well. If you have any suggestions for what you want the other Chao to evolve into, maybe post that. I might do this one by myself, though. But let's check out the shop quick. So there's this black market. It's in a locker. You got this very suspicious Chao and his little friend over there hopping around. And you can buy all kinds of stuff. It looks like we got heart fruit in the shop, which is a very useful item for later. It's used for Chao breeding. Now, the items in the shop are randomized, and they change after completing a level. I think it's a level or 2. But as you see, we can't buy any eggs in here, and that's for a good reason. The eggs that you can buy in this shop are determined by how many emblems you have. You've unlocked different egg colors as you get more emblems, so we're going to have to play some more stages. He even says it right there. You also get more items besides eggs unlocked through emblems. The shop just keeps adding stuff the more emblems you have, basically. Another feature... Oh geez, this video is just going to be packed with info, but I don't care because I love talking about the Chao Garden. I'll do it all day. Is that there are... You know how, like, in Pokemon, how they do 2 versions and then have version exclusives to try and make you trade with other people or buy the other version? There's something similar in this game, because the GameCube and the Wii as well has 2 memory card slots. And so by putting another memory card in the second slot, you can trade Chao between the first and second slot. To encourage people to go to their friend's house and trade Chao with them, there are 3 groups of 3 egg colors. maybe I'll try and put it on screen, but I don't actually have access to good editing software, so... no, I can put it on screen, probably. So there are 3 groups of 3, and one of those 3 groups the game will randomly decide when you create your game. It will randomly pick one of those 3 groups to be impossible for you to get in this file. So whatever our group is, we don't know yet until we start getting more eggs unlocked. But one of those groups will be unavailable, and the only way for us to obtain Chao of that color will be to trade with another person, and then, or have them breed us a Chao and then trade for that Chao so that we can breed that one and have infinite of whatever color we can't get. Let's say purple. If we want a purple Chao, but the game has decided that we're not going to be able to get purple Chao this file, we'd have to find someone with a purple Chao, have them trade us a purple Chao, and then we could breed it infinitely and just get purple Chao that way. Yeah, that basically explains that. Now, because the way I'm playing this, I can't do any trading without jumping through a bunch of hoops. I guess I technically could, but I'm not really worried about it. Whatever colors we can't get, we're just not gonna get. It's okay. Though I will talk about all the colors probably, or just show them on screen at some point. The last features in here are the principal's office and the classroom, but I think we kind of talked enough about what's going on in here. So I think let's just give some of the animals to our Chao, and I'll show off one last important feature. So, I think, you know what? Tell me what you think Yiker should evolve into. But this one I'm gonna do because I've already given it some speed. So we're gonna choose to make this into a speed Chao, or a run Chao. Now, I'm gonna show off the infamous glitch / exploit that a lot of people are convinced they intentionally left this in the game, because I'm pretty sure you can do it in all versions of both this game and the original Sonic Adventure. If you place an animal down right in front of a Chao and not give it to it, but just have it, you know, kind of land next to it like I'm doing here, doesn't always work. But the Chao will gain the stats from the animal, but it will not use up the animal. The reason why some people are convinced that this is intentionally left in the game is because leveling a Chao's stats to high levels without this would be a nightmare, because you can only get so many animals in a stage. And like, I mean, I just gave it like a rabbit's worth, maybe even more than 1 stage worth of rabbits to this Chao, and it's only run level 4. Oh, okay, that's something we can talk about. So this Chao is crawling, but you see this Chao has started to run, or walk rather. What's up with that? That's because its run stat, as you see, it's 79. If a Chao's run stat hits or passes 50, the Chao will begin to walk. I don't know the thresholds for the 2nd level, but eventually if your Chao gets a ton of run, it will start doing like a big power walk when it walks around, instead of just this simple walk. But I'm not as familiar with the thresholds for those bigger ones. I just know that 50 run equals Chao will begin to walk, which is cool. I generally like the Chao to have at least 50 run, because especially once they're adults, it looks kind of silly if they are crawling around, but they're like a fully, you know, leveled up Chao. Now, honestly, this is probably enough to already make this Chao set to evolve into a run Chao. I'm gonna give it a little more while I talk about another thing that you should be noticing. As I'm feeding this Chao this bunny, you'll notice that its little emotion orb thing above its head, I forget the technical term. It slowly started to change, and it just ate my rabbit, whatever. Excuse me. You've seen that the little orb has started to change green. This Chao has also started to sprout these little tiny, see those little tiny things right there? Can you kind of see them? Little orbs. It's also started to change color a little bit if we compare these two Chao. That is because I'm interacting a bunch with it, with Sonic, who is a hero character. This is causing this Chao to become aligned with the hero alignment. And as you see, if I pet it, this process will continue to get more and more obvious. until eventually it will be complete, I guess. Whatever alignment this Chao is most aligned towards, when it evolves, it will be locked permanently into that alignment. Now this is mostly just a cosmetic thing, though there are a couple of Chao races in the late game that specify you have to use a hero or dark Chao, but also neutral Chao are allowed to compete in everything. So if you want to make just like one god Chao to like get all the emblems with, you should probably make it a neutral Chao. Though neutral Chao are a bit more complicated to get because you need to balance hero and dark. So you're gonna have to be switching between characters a bunch, which can be kind of annoying. Hero and dark Chao are a lot easier to make, but I do like a lot of the designs for the neutral Chao, so you know, it's worth it. Unfortunately, I think hero probably has my least favorite designs. Some of them look kind of samey to each other, whereas the neutral and dark Chao have much more distinct looking designs, but there are ways later in a Chao's lifespan to like really start differentiating them from other Chao, so it's not too bad. But as you can see, this Chao is now like white and blue. It is fully aligned with Sonic. I probably, you know what, you guys can suggest what type you want Yikers to evolve into, but I am going to decide myself that this will be a dark Chao, because it's important for us to get one light and one dark Chao, or one hero and one dark Chao, because it will unlock things by having at least one of each of those two types. Now, how will this Chao evolve, you may ask? Well, I'm not going to be doing that now, because this Chao Garden section has already gone on very long. But there are basically two ways. One, the basic way, you just wait. Chao, once they hit age 1, I believe it is, naturally they will just evolve. This takes... it's somewhere between 1 and 3 hours, I think. The reason I don't know this is because there's a second way to evolve a Chao, and that is to feed it a lot. I don't really know why this works, but it does. If you just keep feeding a Chao, it will evolve much quicker. And even though it'll still be age 0, it'll still evolve and become an adult. So that's the quickest way. Although it still does take a lot of time. You're going to be feeding the Chao a lot. But the thing is, like, stamina is an important stat for racing. So, like, if you want your Chao to compete, you're probably going to be wanting to feed it stuff anyway. So it's like, you might as well knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. And that's why I probably should plant trees more. And in my recent playings of this game, I have started to, like, try and actually buy the seeds from the shop and plant trees. Because it does make it way easier to evolve Chao and increase their stamina. Because as you see right now, we have 3 trees. The fruit will also just fall naturally. Or once it gets big, we can shake it like this and force the fruit to fall. And then the fruit will regenerate after a certain amount of time, but you gotta wait for it, and it can take a while. It doesn't take too long, but obviously having an extra tree in here would speed up the process a bit. So yeah, suggest in the comments, what should we, which type should we evolve this one into? You know, run, power, fly, swim, or a neutral is also an option by just not giving it any. And I'll post a link in the chat where you can like take a look at what all of the different options look like, so that you can, you know, look at that and then decide for yourself. And then we have this one, and for this one I just need a name recommendation. So you can take a look at I'll link it again in the comments. Did I call it the chat? Switching between Twitch and YouTube is hard. If you go in the comments, I'll have a pinned comment with a link to where you can see what all the different Chao look like. So you can see what this one's gonna look like when it evolves into a hero run Chao. And then, yeah, you can suggest a name for it. I think, though, that is gonna do it for this first episode. We did the first level, the first boss, spent a ton of time in the Chao Garden, and next episode, I think, unlike normal where I just continue the hero story, I think what I want to do is go back and forth between the hero and dark stories. So next time we're going to be starting up the dark story. See ya!